Good morning, hello, welcome everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy and today I'll be giving you a prediction reading for the 20th of January. Now, I am out here with my doggos. I have given them a humongous bone, so you may hear a little bit of chewing in the background, but at least they won't harass us. Oh my God, they love a good bone. So you might hear chewing. That Sprocket who's sitting right here next to me. Sophie's down the other end of the yard. And yes, if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. Please hit the like buttons, guys, and please feel free to comment down below. Let's talk about yesterday's news. We know that Jacinda Ardern, we call her Jacinda here, has resigned. I think she finishes on the 7th of February or something like that. We've got a few more weeks of her. I did talk about her coming on and talking about change, which yes, it did surprise us all, the change come about, that's for sure. So I think that was like music to all of our ears. And like I said yesterday, this is awesome, guys, because this puts a spotlight on New Zealand, which helps to wake everybody up, and we get the domino effect again like we did with the protests in Ottawa. This is just huge, guys, so fingers crossed that this starts to shake a lot of these global leaders up. We don't know why she resigned. We don't know if she was asked to leave. We don't know. You know, maybe that'll come out in the wash eventually. So we've got a few changes coming, which is good. That's one of the global leaders. That's one down and a few more to go. I know of you, a lot of you guys out there suggested that maybe Dictator Dan and Trudeau would be good to get rid of as well. Like, that would be good. There's a few others that we would be happy to get rid of in this world of global elites that are trying to take over our world. We definitely know that. Biden could be next. I think that was you, Martin, that suggested Biden. Yes, I can see Biden might be going down the gurgler. That would be good for you Americans, wouldn't it? So fingers crossed this happens and vibrates out now and starts to shake up these global elites. So that's great. That's really good news for you in New Zealand, you warriors over there. Great energy and vibes that you shook everything up. It's so good. Anyway, we're still cheersing, aren't we? I haven't got my coffee today. I've already had it. So cheers, everybody. All right, let's close our eyes. We'll get started and we'll see what comes up moving forward now. Yeah, I'm just getting that visual. People can't be herded anymore. They can't, these leaders, oh, and see, that's what happened with Jacinda. She couldn't herd the cattle into the cattle yard anymore. People weren't going to have it because they're waking up. They're starting to see what's going on, that their lives are being taken from them. Oh, this is so good. So that's what we're getting. They can't, the global leaders and elites can't shut the gate. Oh, if only we could close Bill Gates into the gate. that would be a good idea, wouldn't it? We could lock it and padlock it and keep him in there for good. Let's see where else we go. Yeah, they're finding out the information. People are finding out the information. It's starting to be delivered. I talked the other day about the packages being delivered to these people waking up and the sleepwalkers, that the doorbell is ringing and the government's delivering packages onto their doorstep, like the Amazon packages we talked about. Actually, did you guys hear about Amazon and that having like a lot of financial struggles with it's so good to hear. I think it was Microsoft or something like this. There's all this, John, you and Tim might know more about this, but there's a lot of financial collapsing in a few of these industries, which is really great. Actually, I've got to come on and do a financial read, haven't I, guys? If I get time, I might do that later today. But yes, there's a lot of collapsing of these industries too, because they forget that when people don't have the money to spend, they're not going to spend their money, are they, on all the Amazon products and all this kind of thing. So this is good. But getting back to, people are getting the information delivered to their doorstep now. It's starting to come to these people. Oh, it's so good. Okay, let's see what else we get. Germany's rising. We know Germany's rising. God, that film clip the other day, guys, I'm sure you've all seen it by now, that Carl Vernon, that film clip of all the police SWAT team or whatever they were stuck in the mud. Oh my God, what a gut laugh that is. And then of course we've got to have Greta Thunberg being arrested at the same protests at the coal mine or whatever it was. But you know, climate change activists. So there's going to be a lot more standing up and rising up in Germany. Oh my God, we do have to laugh at these things, guys, because it's just that ridiculous, the circus show that's going on globally. Honestly, like, where to from here? What more? Honestly, it's just getting nuts now. Because it's no longer just about the jab. See, that's why I reckon people are coming out of that mass psychosis. I keep saying it. They're slowly getting pulled out of it because they're focusing on everything else. Because their life is, everything else is being affected. Not just a terrible virus that's going to affect the world. There's everything, the financial crisis, the climate change collapse. Like, everything's collapsing, basically. So they have to turn and look. Because they can't deny that anymore, see? The denial bubble suits have to be unzipped and removed. Because they don't have a choice anymore. Okay. When I get a vision of the denial bubble suits, guys, I get the vision of those people in China walking around in those white paper suits or whatever they are, and the zip coming undone. That's the kind of image I get for the denial bubble suits of the sleepwalkers and people waking up. And this is not to put them down. This is just a fact. They've been denying that this is true. People just keep putting it down as a conspiracy. How is it a conspiracy when it's all coming to fruition and landing in their lap and becoming the truth? We knew it was the truth, but now they're going to realise it's the truth. This is what's happening in 2023. We're starting to move forward and take off now. The truth movements, they're starting to have some inroads and some impact. This is so good, guys. Okay, let's see where else we go. Oh, this is so good. And it's saying the truth movements are starting to make a dent in the narrative. These truth movements, like whether it be the military in the US, whether it just be people fighting back in large groups, they're starting to make a dent in the narrative, meaning the reset agenda. It's not just rolling out to perfection. I keep saying it. It's not going smoothly because when you have not involved the people, you don't know how the people are going to react. And we know how the people are going to react, don't they? They're not going to be happy and they're going to be really pissed off when they realise they've been lied to for 3 years by everybody, except us, the conspiracy theorists, who are actually telling them the truth, which they'll realise one day. Don't worry, guys. They'll realise. We might not ever get apologies and stuff for them, but we don't care about that, do we? We just want the truth coming out, and we want them to know that we weren't mad and we weren't crazy and we didn't need to be put in some isolated what do you call those places, those wellness camps and all that, and kept away from society because we were granny killers and doing all this stuff. No, we know who the actual granny killers are, and it was never us. It was actually, let's say, Big Pharma, Pfizer, all these, all these big pharmaceutical companies. Oh, we know who the granny killers were. Anyway, enough of that. I'm getting the jab industries are coming down. God, I hope so. Wouldn't that be brilliant? But I am getting this bit of collapsing of the jab industries. This would be Big Pharma and all the people associated with. See, I've always said that there's going to be whistleblowers. There's going to be people calling out their lies. There will be, because it's on people's conscience. You've got to remember that people at their human being, at the core of their human core of their being, rather, they want to tell the truth. And when they've been suppressed and silenced for years and years and years, they want it has to come out. It has to come out because they can't keep living with it. It's like something that's been hidden and that you've had to hold inside, and these whistleblowers need to talk about it now. So that's why I'm getting, there could be a little bit of collapsing in the jab movements. This is so good. This is so good. We need more whistleblowers to come together, and they'll come together too, because there might not be tons of them, but there might be 4 or 5 people who might have worked for example Pfizer, just example, who come out and tell the truth and make people aware that Pfizer knew all about this side effects and this kind of thing. These are only been trial jabs. We have to remember that. So there was really no great data on all this. And then when the data did start to come in, of course, it was all hidden, probably burnt in the furnace that we always talk about, information being burnt. And, we talked about that in America. We know that there's suddenly a lot of log books and things that have been disappearing from Biden's house and all this kind of thing, people signing in and, so many things globally, a lot of corruption. So there's going to start to be whistleblowers. That's what I'm getting. God, I hope so. Interesting to see what comes out around Jab Cinder. But anyway, Because they've had a lot of people working for them too, remember, who know about all the cover-ups and things. People's conscience starts to, you know, shit starts to get real. When you think you're going to be the ones that are going to be dropped in it and blamed for things, you're going to start to speak your truth, aren't you? So fingers, guys, this is a year where a lot of whistleblowers come forward in different industries as well. You know, to do with politics, to do with the jab industries, etc., etc. Although we know the jab industries are pretty much exempt from everything. So a lot's going to fall, like I keep saying, back on doctors and all these people who have been, you know, following the narrative perfectly. They're realising that things are going to start to point back to them. Because we know governments are never going to take the fall for it, are they? They all jump ship, don't they? Like Jab Cinder. They jump ship, get ship... jump ship. Well, they were. They jump ship. Sorry, guys. And they get out before the going gets, you know, a bit tricky to navigate. They take their payouts. We know they all get paid out. We're not stupid here on my channel, are we? Let's see where else we go. Oh, did you see Trump calling out all the Biden stuff? It's so good. I love hearing Trump talk about the documents with Biden. It's just, oh, here's Sprocket checking on Mummy. He's got his huge bone. It's all right. I'm still here. Good boy. Let's see where else we go. God, I'm just getting New Zealand that you guys are having this big sigh of relief. It's like you've got this little bit of relief has taken over people over there. It's like, oh my God. It's like finally you can breathe again. And that's so beautiful for you guys, isn't it? You can breathe again. Oh, that's just beautiful. Oh, I love hearing that. You guys in New Zealand are breathing again. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I love it. There's a song, I'm getting a song. I always have to get a song. And it's by Kylie Minogue, a little Aussie singer here. Everyone knows Kylie Minogue though, I know all you guys are. And she's got a song called Breathe. I'm sure it's called Breathe. And I'm pretty sure they're all lying around a swimming pool or something in the film clip, and it's called Breathe. Well, I want you to go and watch that film clip today, everybody, because we've got to, this is about getting back to the breath and focusing on the breath, living in the now, and that's what I'm getting for New Zealand. You're able to breathe again. So I'm sure the song by Kylie Minogue is called Breathe. Let's go check it out, especially if you're living in New Zealand. That's the song I'm getting for you guys today. There's a big sigh of relief. You're taking in like this big breath because you're so relieved. It's such a good feeling, isn't it? So we'll just see what comes in New Zealand moving forward, but enjoy this little bit of time that you've got of freedom, being able to breathe again, and just enjoy the moment and take it all in New Zealand. Okay, let's see where else we go. Oh, they're showing me Australia. They're showing me Elbow, and he's like panicking. Because see, Elbow and New Zealanders are quite connected. I talk about that a lot here. So they're showing me Elbow zipping through the paperwork. He's checking his paperwork. He's flicking through things really fast in this panic mode. He's dotting the I's, cross the T's. He's making sure everything's done properly. That's what I'm getting for Elbow. There's this little bit of panic now in him. And the guides are saying, like, it's not that he really needs to, but he just is. He's just panicking because he doesn't want to end up like Jabcinda. So he's got this little bit of panic and fear happening in him at the moment. And he's flicking through, it's showing me him flicking through the corners of paperwork and making sure everything's done properly. Again, see, things are starting to backfire. I said that about him and his mates in the car the other day, Elbow with his car out the elbow of the Holden car. Just an image, guys. And that his car was starting to backfire because people were starting to sabotage things. So I do feel like he's nervous about this happening now moving forward, that are people going to sabotage him? Are they, you know, I was telling you here about Perrottet. They were digging up dirt on Perrottet being dressed as a Nazi at his 21st birthday 20 years ago and all this crazy stuff. Well, I feel like Elbow's really getting paranoid that someone's going to dish up some dirt on him. It just goes on and on, doesn't it, guys? So he's making sure there's nothing that will be leaked or that will come out. He's just double checking everything. That's what I'm getting for Elbow. He's making sure that he's made no mistakes. That's what I'm getting for Elbow. He's checking his paperwork for some reason. Elbow, what can we say? Let's see where else we go. God, I'm getting a message for you guys watching my channel. Keep looking for your signs and synchronicities. Now, I know you guys have been getting a lot of them. You often mention it to me down below, certain times, and it's crazy, you know, even the songs that we get sometimes will synchronize with you guys. Like, you'll go, God, I heard that on the radio today, or I was thinking about that song the other day. So we get a lot of 80s hits here, guys, a lot of old music. Not always, but we do get a lot of that kind of music. So it triggers memories or emotes feelings in us. So I know a lot of you have been confirming that. So we've still got to keep looking for signs, not just like synchronicities too, because they all kind of go together. But we're definitely looking for signs to guide us at the moment. This is going to be big. And oh, Jacinda Ardern, that was a big sign and a big confirmation to all of us that they're being shaken, the reset's being shaken. And it's all happened while the big WEF meetings are in Davos. Like, it's all coincidental, isn't it? So, you know, we know there's going to be more to the story with Jacinda Ardern. We mightn't hear it straight away, but we know it's going to filter out. There'll be a lot more to this. Oh, itchy nose. See, guys, the truth, it's all starting to come out. So we have to also trust. Like I posted that video of my sister and I. She's very good. She talks about trusting in the universe and just allowing things to happen. And that's why we keep getting told by the guides to just sit back and detach and allow all this to kind of unfold now. We can still plant seeds and do all that. I do that. Look at my Facebook page. I do it all the time. But we have to really look for those signs too, for guidance is what the message that I'm getting. Let's see what else we get today. God, I'm just getting there's like a lot unfolding in the near future. So I kept saying end of January things are going to start to, you know, move along and roll along. So I'm getting this unfolding. Let's hope it's the unfolding of the narrative, the reset narrative. But I am getting this unfolding of information. It's like the unfolding of information. It's like if you've been to the beach and you pick up your towel. You know how you've been to the beach and your towel's covered in sand and you have to pick it up and shake it out at the end of your trip to the beach, and sand goes everywhere. You've got to be careful you don't flick it into people's eyes and that. Well, that's what's happening. The information's being shaken like out, and the truth's starting to come out because people are shaking it out. Oh, this is so good. This could be about the whistleblowers too, but I am getting that. It's like shaking out a beach towel, and there's all these little tiny particles of information coming out. So this is a good thing. They're being exposed, which is great. All right, let's see where else we go. I'm getting again that Olivia Newton-John song. We've had it a few times over the last year, really. You have to believe we are magic. You have to believe you are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. That's the song I'm getting for today, guys, because we can just keep putting our vibration out and willing these things to happen. Like, look at New Zealand, what you guys did over there. Unreal. So it just proves that vibration has a very big impact on outcomes as well. So you have to believe you've got these like magic qualities, that you're going to be able to navigate these things. We're going to, look, we've done it for 3 years. God, we were ostracized and vilified. We weren't even allowed to leave our homes, and we're still here, and we're actually living our best life now, guys. You know, we found freedom, we found peace, we found Terra Bella, we've created our happy places, and we're feeling okay. And it's like this unknown thing, isn't it, guys, that we know we're going to be okay and that we're safe. It's really strange, isn't it? It's very hard to explain to people, but we have to believe we are magic. And probably not literally magic, but because we live from these higher realms now, and we can you know, plug into our senses and our gut feelings and the things that are going on around us, it just makes us see the world very differently, is pretty much what the guides are saying. So we have to believe we are magic. Like Olivia Newton-John. Is that from Xanadu? I think it is from the movie Xanadu. Let's see where else we go today. God, I'm just getting like people are going to be very forgiving. People are going to be very forgiving. And I think it's going to be all of us. We're going to have to be very forgiving of all the nonsense and the lies and the deception and all the horrible things that have gone on, because we know that they have, and we're going to have to be very, very forgiving. We've talked about that a bit on this channel because it's not easy to do. I know most of us are not going to be forgiving to these global elites and the leaders and the people that have done what they have done to us, and I wouldn't expect the people of New Zealand to be forgiving of Jacinda Ardern. We know that she was quite a monster. Gosh, you only have to look at some of the film clips they're playing at the moment of all the things she was saying about, yes, it'll be a two-tiered society and the unjabbed won't be able to do anything. Like, it was just horrible. But we do have to be forgiving of the little people because they were tricked. We have to keep remembering that they were fooled, they were tricked, they were put in a mass psychosis, they were only given, as we know, one side of the information. So if they were stuck watching mainstream media, that's all they knew. They didn't know there was a whole other side of information over here. So it was done by trickery. So we do have to forgive to a degree, which is very hard, I understand, guys. We all forgive in different ways, don't we? Sometimes it's just so we can move forward. Like I often talk about, it's like you don't want your anchor to be back there and you're trying to move forward and you're still anchored to the past. So that's why it comes into that sort of, when you're forgiving the things that have happened to you in the past, it's like cutting that anchor and you're able to float freely again. I think that's more what the guides are trying to say to us here. It's about allowing ourselves to move forward and not being stuck in that past again. Let me see what, there's something else to close with today. Germany's not holding back. I'm still getting Germany. Well, you're dominating today, but I am getting that Germany's not holding back. They're really pushing forward against the narrative. It's so good. It's so good. They're growing. They're growing. Their protests are really growing over there now. It's so good. Where's Düsseldorf? I'm getting Düsseldorf. Okay, let's see where we go. Oh God, the guides just give me everything sometimes. Hang on, guys, bear with me. they throw all these songs into my head and it just becomes overwhelming sometimes. I'm gonna take, I'll see if there's something to close with. I hope this is true, but I'm getting some of these governments will concede defeat. Oh my God, could you imagine if that actually happens? Let's hope it's Biden. Oh, imagine that. Imagine him just giving up. He just, yay! Oh, I am getting that some governments are gonna like just concede defeat with this reset. Oh my God, it's been the biggest scam of all time, hasn't it, guys? We can't even believe this has happened to our lives. But I am feeling that some governments, it's just going to all get too hard. Of course it would. It's that complicated. God, we even think here, how did they do it? I don't know how China's had half of this stuff implemented for years, like, you know, all the tracking and tracing and facial recognition. Like, how do you even go about setting that up, guys? So I am getting that feeling that some places are just going to go, oh, this is just too hard, and they're just going to can it. Oh, imagine. Hope it's all of us, guys. I hope it's Canada or Australia. I hope they all can it. Oh. But this is good. This is be way down the track, obviously, not at the present moment, because they're still trying to get it out. But see, they don't know what the little people are going to do. See, they don't know how we're going to react, do they? They don't know that we're not all just going to turn into David Icke and just dismiss it all and go, well, you can't touch us if we're not in your reality. We're going to move over here like we did. They seem to not be able to get to you, don't you? If you know they can't kind of hurt you, it's like they can't get to you. It's like you said, Madman. We're useless to government, and when you become useless to government, your government becomes useless to you. It's a good way of putting it. It is, because we just get nothing from our governments except ripped off by them, basically, and dictated to. So we just turn and look away and ignore it, and head over behind Wilson's fence, just hide away and look from the distance. Let me see if there's something else today. No, God, they keep giving me all these songs. Hang on, guys. Oh, they're giving me that cute little Kermit song again, which we all love here. The Rainbow Connection, where he's sitting on the rock with his little banjo again, and he's, someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da 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 da. That's such a cute song. So we're getting that song. Kermit on the thing. Maybe that's all the people in New Zealand just have found the rainbow connection, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But we're getting that little Kermit song again. Oh, I love that film clip. It's so adorable, isn't it? He's just so cute, isn't he, Kermit? You know I love Kermit. He's usually in the back of my videos. I know some of you love Kermit the Frog. He's just so funny, isn't he? So we're getting that song to finish with today, and that's probably for New Zealand. You found the pot of gold. Hang on a minute. Oh, of course. They're giving me a visual of all of us guys doing up our Braveheart biker jackets, us rebel maverick freedom fighters, and we're on our motorbikes and we're getting that song. Oh, speaking of huge sigh of relief in New Zealand and taking a breath, we're getting that song, Take My Breath Away, from Top Gun. Take my breath away, do-do-do-do. And I think that's appropriate because I think when Jacinda Ardern resigned, it took all of our breath away. And that's the song I'm going to leave you with today from Top Gun. We always have to have a little Top Gun, little bit of rebel maverick in there, don't we? A little bit of a rebel that we are, our mavericks, the mavericks that we are, rather. And that's the song I'm going to leave you with today, Take Our Breath Away. And that's also about learning to practice focusing on our breathing. But she did take our breath away, didn't she, by resigning? Because it just gives us hope, doesn't it, guys? So I'm going to leave you with that song today, Take Our Breath Away. Take my breath away. Oh, okay. I'm going to say goodbye from Australia. I'll try and come on and do a financial reading later if I get time. And I will say, have a great day, everybody. Enjoy. Have fun over there in New Zealand. And, you know, breathe. Breathe. Oh, that sigh of relief for sure. Take care. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below. And have a wonderful day. Cheers, everybody. Bye. Bye from Australia. Bye.